Hi there, I've just been on holiday to Vienna and I wanted to do a video about travelling with an ostomy. So I have an ileostomy, had my surgery in February and now it's the end of May, and I actually booked a holiday to Vienna last year but was unable to go and ended up in hospital instead. So since my surgery, obviously I've been feeling really good and decided to book another holiday to Vienna. So I went for 5 days, and I know that you had to prepare when travelling with an ostomy. So what I did first of all was ask my stoma nurse about it, and she gave me this little travel booklet, and it's basically it's signed by a stoma nurse, and it's also in lots of different languages about why you have all your medical kit with you. So I was only going to Vienna for 5 days, so I thought it's not worth checking any luggage in, so I just had hand luggage. So I took all my medication, well not medication but kit with me in this little bag. So I'll just quickly go through what I took with me. In terms of bags, I used the Censura Mios from Coloplast, Censura, sorry, and I took about 20 of these with me, even though I was going away for 5 days, but I was actually staying in London as well, so I was away for a week in total, but I took about 20 with me because I didn't know how flying was going to affect my ostomy. I don't know, I just thought I'll take a load just in case, because I couldn't imagine being abroad and being stuck without having my kit. So yeah, took lots with me, but I actually only ended up using, you know, the normal amount I would do in a week, so I didn't need to take that many. I also pre-cut them because you're not allowed to take scissors, I don't think, on the plane, so I couldn't take these with me, so I just pre-cut all my bags as well. And we'll come back to that in a second because funny story. So I also had my little pot for water, the spray, which is okay to take on the plane because it is 50 millilitres and you're allowed to take things up to 100 millilitres. So that was fine to take. I took my little bin bags. I took some cotton wad thingies. I actually forgot to take any of these, which are the skin barrier wipes. So that was shocking when I got to Vienna to do my first bag change and realised I didn't have any of these with me. But actually it was fine, I didn't have a problem not using them. So I guess it's more for if you're having problems with skin. I think it just gives that extra layer on the skin, but I don't have problems with my skin, so I was fine, thankfully. I took my little pen, I don't know why, because I'd already cut them, but I took it. I also took, I don't know why, surgical dressing with me, just because I had it in my drawers and I thought maybe I'll get a massive cut. I also took some of these, I call them bananas, I don't actually know what they're called, but they just give a little bit more of a protection around the bag, just in case there's a leak. And I also took some of these little things, I call them donuts, I don't know what they're really called, washers apparently. Just in case I needed them, if my stoma changed or whatever with the flight. So, oh, and the last thing I took was these little things that you put on the filter of the bag, just to stop them getting wet. So you can have a shower with these, or you can go swimming and put one of these on. I don't normally do that because I just change my bag after I've had a shower, so it doesn't matter if it gets wet. But I thought I'd take them just in case, you know, I ran out of my 20 bags and then needed to wear one for longer than 2 days or whatever when I have a shower. So that's my little kit. So yeah, that's all the preparation I did, I think. Yeah, I think that's all the preparation I did. And then flying, I hate flying. So yeah, it was okay, but there was no difference, you know, with having my ostomy. Like, actually it made it tons better, because I can imagine travelling with IBD would have been a nightmare because of the plane ride and being nervous and needing to go to the loo when the seatbelt sign's on and all of that. Yeah, I just couldn't have done it. But with an ostomy, it was fine. So that's really cool. In Vienna, it was really hot, and I definitely noticed getting dehydrated and tired quicker than I normally would have, because it was so hot. And it was harder as well to keep that regular pattern of food and drink, because you're out of your normal life and you're doing loads of things in the day. So yeah, I struggled a little bit with keeping up hydration, but I know that that's really important if you have an ostomy, so I did try. Then yeah, my holiday was really good, and I flew home, and I was in London staying with my cousin, and I actually flew home on the 19th of May, which was World IBD Day, and it was also my 1-year anniversary since I was diagnosed. So that was really cool, and I wore purple for the IBD Day. I wore purple socks. So yeah, I had really good experience flying back, and that was a nice flight actually. And then went to my cousin's in London, stopped overnight, and woke up in the morning with really bad pains in my tummy and feeling really sick. And I needed a shower, needed to change my bag, so went into the shower, took the bag off, and was like, oh my gosh, what has happened? My stoma had swollen up in circumference, but had retracted inside of me. So the stoma kind of, if that's my skin, it normally sticks up maybe that much. It had slipped down to like going in and out like that, and I was terrified. And obviously with the pain and everything, I was like, what the hell is happening? And yeah, as I say, it really swollen. So normally, this is me. This is like the stuff you take off the back of the bag, off the sticky. So it's like a plaster, if you imagine like taking the wrapper off and there's a sticky. I cut the bag, and that was kind of the shape of my stoma beforehand. So it's quite tiny, like quite small. And this is the bag that I had to cut that morning. So yeah, a bit of a difference in size. So I was really nervous and in pain and feeling sick. So I rang my stoma nurse, and she was like, no, they didn't answer. I left a voicemail, but I rang the ward and said, you know, this is what's happening. And they said, yeah, you need to get to an urgent care centre, either in London, or you need to come back to Leicester and come to the LRI. So I got a train home and managed to make it to LRI, which is the hospital where I live. And yeah, I was taken to the surgical assessment unit, and I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And I was in so much pain, feeling so sick, and I had to wait like 4 hours, and it was a horrible experience. But the thing, well, I was already crying, to be fair, but the thing that made me really cry was when they put a cannula in the back of my hand, and I was like, I am sick of this sight. Get this out of my hand. So yeah, that drove me a little bit crazy, and they were talking about possibly having to admit me overnight, and so I was really upset, and I just couldn't believe that I was back there, because I was finally free with my stoma and everything. But yeah, I was very upset. But they managed to do an assessment of the stoma, which they put their finger into the stoma. So his finger was inside my tummy. It was so weird. But yeah, they did that. There was no blockages, and by then I was feeling a bit better. less pain. The stoma had actually come out again, so it wasn't retracted anymore, which is the thing that I was most scared of. So yeah, they were happy for me to go home and just come back for a checkup the next day. So that was fine. Went home, was feeling better, could eat, drink, whatever. Next day went for a checkup, was fine. And then that evening I had a bath, and when I got out of the bath I was changing my bag, and oh lordy, my stoma had gone to this now, like, so it had grown again, and it was also now sticking out about this much, which is ridiculous. And I was like, oh, my guts are falling out my tummy. So yeah, again, I felt horribly sick, and I think it was probably just the shock of seeing it. I felt so sick, my sight started going like blotchy, and I thought I was gonna faint, and yeah, it was not very nice. So I just went to bed, and I was so fed up with myself. And then the next day I woke up, was feeling a bit better, and then, you know, through the days it kind of got better and better. And at the hospital they said the most likely thing was that I had some kind of tummy bug, and that was irritating the bowel, making it swollen, and, you know, moving the bowel around, so it was pulling my stoma in and out, which is gross. But it seems to have settled down now, and now my stoma is back to this at the moment, so not too far away from the normal size. So so happy that's over. I don't know whether it was to do with my travelling, maybe I'd pushed myself a bit too far, a bit too soon, but yeah, I'm glad it's hopefully back to normal now. But yeah, overall a good experience with travelling, and I couldn't have done any of it before I had my surgery, so it's really, really cool that I can do that now. What else did I have to say? Oh, the only other thing that, I don't know, hopefully you've noticed, is that I am losing weight. I'm getting back to my normal size, and that's really cool. I'm back in my jeans and all of that, and that's really just eating healthily, and I guess doing more exercise than I was doing when I was poorly, just walking home from work every day, like doing bike rides if I feel like it, things like that, and just eating like really healthily. So I'm doing really well with that. I'm proud of myself, and I'm feeling back to my normal self, and it's just so nice to feel like, yeah, I feel good about myself again, and I feel like me again. And I had my hair cut to celebrate not having such a moon face. So I think that's all I had to say. That was my experience with travelling, and with my first little blip with my stoma, having to go back to hospital. So that's my experience. Okay, bye.